The presenting sponsor of Upmarket is Aereo, the best place to grow and manage your real estate media business online at aereo.com. That's ARYEO.com. Coming to you from the Upmarket studio at Gasworks in beautiful San Buenaventura, California, this is Upmarket, a podcast about the business of real estate photography and media. My name is Reed Fish. I'm the CEO and a co-founder of Upmarket Media. I got that. So Mark Corcoran, our other co-founder, he's out like literally backpacking, trekking, like backpacking in the high Sierras with no cell phone reception. So we couldn't even phone into this show. Glad he's doing that. I don't know why in the hell he would do that. Seems like a lot of work. But hopefully he gets some nice photos and some good views. Also, Chelsea Froelich, producer Chelsea, not also in the house either. So it's just Reed today. But don't worry, I got someone else coming in. And this is a Road to PMRE episode. So we know PMRE is coming up November 18th through 20th at the Palms Resort and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. I think PMRE is 75% sold out now. So get in there, go to PMREconference.com. Get in there, see the roster of amazing speakers, see all the stuff that is going on. You know, we love it. We talk about it all the time. We're going to be there. So many of our friends in this industry are going to be there. And it is the one place per year where you can go and be sure to not only have a great time, but learn so much on how to grow your business, how to make yourself more successful, how to be a better photographer, how to be a better business owner, better videographer, and how to grow your team. PMREconference.com. Get in there and register. We're once again so happy this year to be doing these episodes with iGUIDE. So iGUIDE, a special shout out to you all. Go to goiguide.com/PMRE because you can enter the sweepstakes. Yes, that's right. iGUIDE is giving away another all expenses trip paid to PMRE this year, anywhere from the United States or Canada. Get in there. All you need to do is go find iGUIDE on Instagram. There are go_iGUIDE on Instagram and Upmarket Pod on Instagram. Follow both of those accounts, but you got to go to goiguide.com/PMRE, enter your email address. So it's enter your email address on the website and follow both of those accounts. You will be eligible to win an all expenses paid trip to PMRE that includes your PMRE ticket, your plane ticket, and your hotel. If you've already booked travel and your ticket, they will reimburse you for those costs. So please enter even if you already have plans and tickets to come to PMRE. So go to goiguide.com/PMRE. And so speaking of PMRE, look, obviously the speakers are going to be here. So we have one of the other speakers here. And this is, Brandon sometimes throws out a wild card for us and usually hits. And this year, I think the one name on the list that, is going to look, people are going to say, what's going on here is Murray SawChuck, also known as, believe Murray the Magician.
Yes.
And Murray, I don't normally like to have people on the show that have better hair than I do, but I made an exception for you. And I want to say, you are a magician. Kind of, why are you going to be PMRE? Are you just going to perform magic tricks for us, or what's going on?
No, I'm going to talk about, if I can make magic a career. And don't forget, magic is right down by clown and juggler. I mean, you're going to be successful in life.
Yeah.
Those are the three things you probably wouldn't go, you know what? I want to be really successful, rich, famous.
Right.
I'm going to be a juggler, clown, or a magician. You'd be a lawyer, doctor, firefighter, chiropractor, marine biologist.
Podcaster,
Exactly.
Anything. Yeah.
So if I can make magic as successful as I have done, anyone can make anything that they love doing very successful. Mm-hmm. It's just it's just the way you look at it,
Mm-hmm. Well, so and then what? So are you? So you live in Las Vegas?
Yeah.
I'm presuming any magician worth the salt's got to live in Las Vegas. I think.
Sure. Well, I'm from Vancouver, Canada originally, so I'm Canadian.
Oh, okay.
But I've
so many Canadians.
Now, so, yeah.
Okay, fantastic. But then you're also. I know we're recording today. You're in Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
And so you're also traveling around doing shows. I mean, I don't know. I mean, what's the demand like for a magician?
Well, I've been on Pawn Stars for 22 seasons, which is in 162 countries. I've been on Masters of Illusion on CW for 12 seasons as a regular. I've had 6.5 billion views online. So, I'm 51 years old. I've been doing this since I was 7 years old. So when you haven't done anything else but this, you do have a pretty cool fan following that, that adds to touring and traveling. It's like I just saw Dave Matthews Band a couple nights ago here in Tahoe. And people are like, I can't believe he's still got all these fans. I'm like, Dave Matthews is an institution. Love him or hate him.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, of course.
He's collected fans every year since he was probably 16, and that's just the way it works if you're good at what you do and people like what you do.
There you go. I was going to throw that caveat out there. You gotta actually probably bring some talent to it. But you're probably always refining your act, right? So you have your fans, and then you got to give them fresh stuff all the time. I would imagine. Of
course, like any entertainer, you want people coming back. That's why you put out a new album. That's why you put something new out there. One of the greatest people I love watching is Dolly Parton. She has never ever stopped. Love her or hate her.
Yeah.
Who she is.
Well, who the hell could hate Dolly Parton? I mean, come on.
She never stops, because she just really understands her brand. She's never waved off it. And that's what you're getting. You know what I mean? From desserts you can buy in the grocery store that she's got recipes, to country songs, to a theme park,
Yeah, right. Well, and so can you brief us on kind of the type of magic that you do? I mean, because now are there different types, right? I'm a very lay person here. Sure. I think there's the sleight of hand, there's close-up magic, and there's grand illusions. Like, I guess when I was a kid, it was David Copperfield, right? And
sure.
So, how do you describe the content of what you do?
Well, I've done it all. As a kid growing up, I did birthday parties. That's what I started when I was 12, 13 years old. Then went to adult corporate shows because they paid very well. And I love the corporate market. Then I toured on cruise ships and international hotels worldwide. And then I really wanted to get on TV a lot more. And, there's always usually one magician ever on TV. It's not like music or acting where there's a lot of places for that type of talent. And I realized, man, if I could just be funny. I'm funny when I talk to my friends. But being funny talking to your friends versus being funny on stage are two different worlds. And I thought, man, comedy always sells. You can't go wrong with that. And the way I looked, I never took life seriously. So I started switching everything in my mid to late 20s, doing comedy, because that's what I really liked. And when you look like a Q-tip, I mean, look at me. How do you take me seriously? So, and you do have better glasses than I am, which is, so I got the hair, you got the glasses,
Okay. All right. All out.
But yeah, so, I really went with what's commercial and what people like to do. And I'm always looking for that next idea, that next thing, every 10 years, I kind of rebrand myself indirectly.
Okay. Well, right now, like when you're doing a show, like what kind of style of magic are you doing?
It's all comedy based. Everything I've done.
It's all comedy. Okay. Well, okay. I need some more. I need some more explanation on what. But you can still do a comedy based, grand illusion, or a comedy based, like close up magic thing. So, like, what type of? Can you explain like one of your? I don't want the how you do it, but maybe what the illusion looks like.
Well, perfect examples on America's Got Talent. When I was a finalist, I vanished a steam train on AGT. It was in front of I think it was about 22 million people.
Okay, I was not one of the 22 million.
Yeah,
I didn't watch that. So yeah,
but it's the largest trick on America's Got Talent to this date, and I did that because my whole family's in the railway. That's all they did, and also my history, obviously, with my name Murray SawChuck. My cousin's Terry SawChuck, which is a very famous goalie, and my mother's side is Samuel Clemens, which is Mark Twain, very famous writer.
Right. Okay. Wow. Okay. Wow.
So that's kind of my background of history. So when you look at things, what I'm doing is kind of going back into that artsy kind of world that my ancestors were in, because for the last 100 years, it's all been railway. And so from AGT, I vanished a train because they wanted something large. But then there's some comedy stuff I do all the time on TV, and then I'll do some close-up magic. So I do really everything. It's kind of like a singer going, do you play really fast songs? Well, no, I don't. I do a ballad.
Sure.
And I do a fast song.
Right.
I play guitar, and I sometimes have a 12-piece orchestra.
I play a goddamn show is what I do. Right?
See, there you go.
Yeah. And then, so I guess then, and I think drawing that comparison between what we do as real estate media providers, I mean, we are doing something creative. We're creating, photography, video, and a lot of people get into this business because they do have a love for photography. And then, of course, they start doing it, and then all the love for photography evaporates because they just want to, we're shooting so many photos every day, and it's like, it's so stressful. But what, what was your thought process, or how have you like really become a business person as you do this, right? Because I think we are performers or we're creatives, but then that line of like, we got to run businesses, we got to make money, we got to survive, provide for our families if we have that. And like, so what was that journey like for you?
Well, as you've heard this, I'm sure you have before, and your viewers, is at least in show business is longer than the word show. And if you don't understand the business side, you'll never, ever be successful. And that's another reason why there's managers and agents in entertainment, because some artists are really artists. Like, they're just artists. They have no clue how to get on stage. But once they're on stage, they can turn a 17,000 seat arena around. But they don't know how to market, don't know how to put their face and their name to the right colors, to the right markets, all that stuff. They know when they grab the guitar or that, script that they're doing a Broadway show or whatever it is, they're unbelievable, but they just don't know how to get on there. And hence why you have agents and managers. My thing, when I started out in the business, I go way back. Like, when I love money, I love working, and I was never scared of working. So back in Vancouver, where I grew up, I had paper routes. I had all sorts of things. And when I did a paper route, I'd have a regular paper that 250 houses would get a paper, like the penny saver. What do you call it in your area? Everyone gets this. But inside, if Sears or Dillard's, whatever store had an extra flyer, I'd get paid an extra half a cent to put an extra flyer in there. And then each paper would be worth more money, and I'd make maybe my $80 a week, whatever. So I thought, hold on. My dad makes me rake leaves, cut grass in the summer, and shovel snow in the winter. And a computer came around called the Commodore 64 at the time.
Yeah,
I could do a program called Print Shop. So I thought, wait a minute, I'm going to go print a thing in my school. The one computer our school had, only one. Printed off it, went up to Kinko's, which in Canada we didn't have Kinko's. We had another company called Speedy. I printed off 280 of those leave raking flyers for $25 a yard. So when I did my newspaper route, as I was stuffing the flyers with Sears flyers and J.C. Penney flyers, I put Murray SawChuck flyers in there. So 280 homes got a leave raking flyer. 280 homes got a show. So indirectly, I'm getting paid to do one job. Right. At the same time, I'm promoting myself and working a side hustle for raking leaves, shoveling snow, and all that. And that's the way I've looked at everything in my life, business-wise. And I always tell people, when you do business, everyone's worried when you play pool. If you play pool or snooker, about the white ball hitting that one ball to go in the pocket. If you're a professional player, you worry about where the white ball ends up, not where the ball goes in. And I always tell people, they always look at the end of the week, but they never look at the end of the year. And it's so important to look at the end of the year, not the end of the week. I'll talk to a lot of people, I only made $10 off this or $1,000 off this week. I said, yeah, but you do that every week. $52,000 at the end of the year. That's a lot of money. But don't look at this week or that week, because that's too short of a time. You have to have patience, and you got to look at the 12-year calendar, and you'll be very successful at that. Like I always tell people, two big things to save money: make your own coffee, buy a toolbox. Fix your own stuff, make your own coffee. You will save thousands of dollars a year. And you hear this from a lot of very successful people. People go, oh, it's only $5, $7 for a Starbucks coffee. Yeah. It's beans and water for $7. Are you kidding me?
Right.
So, but people don't think about that. But if you do that every day, 7 days a week, that's $50 a week, times 4.5 weeks a month, times 52 weeks a year, that's a lot of money for hot water and beans. And people are always wondering, I don't have enough money at the end of the year. I go, just look at the small things and look at the 12-year calendar, not the 7-day calendar.
Well, and then right now, what does your team look like? Is it kind of just you, or do you have managers and agents and
it varies,
scheduler and all that?
So my thing, I micromanage a lot. My hardest thing in my life is delegating and having trusting a team, because you're only as strong as your weakest link in your team. And that's my problem. And I have a very hard time finding people as excited about life and my world as I am. And that's the hardest thing about anything. And I realized that because my wife and I own a landscaping company as well. And the hardest thing to do is find employees that are excited as you about your business. And that's really, really hard to do. And you really have to, I think, take your time on who you want to work with and who you're working with, and make sure they are all on the page together. And you're all making profits together. Like, if one person out of the two people are making way more than the other, something's going to fail. But if everyone's got a slice of the pie, and that whole pie has to be sold for everyone to make money, you're never going to lose good people because everyone's making a piece of the pie. And if you have 12 pies and you're getting a slice of each pie, you get a whole pie at the end of the year, but people don't think like that,
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you want to make sure that your employees are invested in your business, so to speak. Like whether it is that it's tied to profits or it's just like you always have to try to build this culture, and we found, we've had a few employees, and we have we just hired a couple of people, so we have like 5 employees, and we've had a couple who've stuck with us for quite a few years now.
Yeah.
And and we understand the value of that. They understand the value of us, but it is a relationship where we always want to make sure that they feel like our success is their success. And, and you have to like actually do that. You don't just want to make them feel that. You want to actually show that our success is your success as well.
Of course.
So in other words, you have no team right now.
Yeah, I do.
So
I got a huge team.
Okay.
So I have PR and marketing. Bottom line is my team's through me. So there's not one check written without my signature on it. There's not one decision done without me approving it. I don't ever let any other people do that because it's my brand, my life, my world, my money. And so a lot of people put things to other people going, they can book my air flights. They can do this. I see every air flight. I see every hotel. I know the hotel in the city. I'm just that person. Because a lot of my friends who are in the same business I am, they pay their agents 30% for this and that. And they go, well, they just give me the flights and that. And that's what I take. I'm like, well, for me, I'm very
right. You're just
and I want to know where the hell I'm flying, how long, and I don't want a connection, blah blah blah. And there's just certain things, and 30% to pay somebody is a lot of money to do a job that I'm pretty good at myself. So I probably have 7 to 10 agents. I have a manager that I've had for like 20 years. I have a PR firm, a couple of them, and I use them when I need them. They're not in a 12-month contract. If I'm doing a TV show, a new project, I want a new award or something, I'll bring them on for 2 or 3 months because they're not cheap. And you want to make sure they're doing what they're doing because there's no guarantee when you hire a publicist, So that's kind of my team. And then below me, when I tour and travel, it's between 2 and 5 people. My own personal show, because the bottom line is, like with any good business, it's all about overhead. And if you have more overhead, you need to make more money. And I'd rather put more money in my pocket than just spreading around looking like I got a lot of people working for me for no reason.
Yeah. And I think we're I think all of us business owners are strategic about our teams, and I know for us, we're always wanting to put money into admin help. I mean, that's really for I think real estate media people, that is the key to kind of unlock the scalability of our businesses, is actually having admin help. And I would imagine if someone like you, who's very in demand, I mean, it's tough to answer all your emails or respond to everything on social media, and right. So I would think that the kind of that day-to-day busy work is stuff that you might be eager to offload.
I mean, with the admin help, it's very important, as you know, as long as they're doing the job and they're being productive. Like it's great to have people working for you, but I've seen a lot of people don't know what the expectations are, what they're supposed to put out to you, and then you don't know the expectations that they need to do. Like I said, like when you use a publicist, as you know, they are going to try to get you in the best magazines ever, everything. But there's no guarantee because, if Tom Cruise has another movie, he's going to get the cover, not you. So it's one of those things where you got to have a certain expectation and trust. And then if you get a couple of big bangers from a PR agent, you kind of go, wow, great. I got on the Tonight Show and a few other things, and that's a win for the month. So I think with your admin staff and what you want them to do and achieve, I think there definitely has to be like a, every month check in and see what they are doing and what the response is. And if it's not working, figure out how to tweak it, or maybe the admin staff isn't on the same page, so.
Yeah. Thankfully, we're on the same page. And as long as, everyone's answering, I don't have to answer the phone or respond to the emails. I'm happy. Yeah, exactly. So it's, it's kind of a low bar, but Chelsea, and now we have another new admin, Melly, they do so much. So, we owe everything to them. We love them with all our hearts. You do sound like a business person at heart, but is it still driven? Is still like the hour you're on stage every night the best part of the day, or do you actually kind of enjoy doing all the other stuff more?
It's funny. It's actually it's really a balance. The cool thing, I always make a joke with my friends if I'm having a really stressful and busy day with so many things going on. I cannot wait to walk on stage for an hour and relax. Isn't that funny? So don't forget, I've done this since I was 7 years old. I'm 51 now, so I've done it for a long time. And I know what I'm doing. I have a great time out there. And at this point, most of the people who are coming to see me know who I am, and they're coming to see me. And so it's just a great time for an hour and a half, But I do love trying to get a new TV show. I do love trying to sell a new TV show. I do love the hustle. I always have, since I was that little boy delivering papers, trying to get some of those people to hire me to rake their leaves or shovel their snow. I was creating a job and a place for myself that was never in the newspaper. I love the fact that I was creating a new job out of my own, own efforts,
Well, yeah. And if you can sell a show, obviously that can be quite lucrative. And then, hopefully you're in control of that. There's always there's always the network owner. So you're never in total control, but
no one's ever in full control. I don't care how famous or how rich you are. There's always somebody above you that you're, trying to keep on the payroll,
Yeah, no, exactly. All right. So I think it's time for, let's take a little break. So we're going to do our social media sidebar, and then we're going to come back with Murray. He's going to kind of detail what he is going to be doing for us at PMRE. And I hope it's going to be funny. I hope there's going to be some magic involved. And then magically at the end, he's also going to give us an action item. And so I think that I'm excited for that. And I have one too. So, don't despair. So, all right, we'll be right back. Well, Aereo is our kind of one-stop destination for so many things about our business, for scheduling, for having our clients be able to order, for delivering photos, for collecting money. I like money. And I think we actually make more money because we use Aereo. I do think that is true. And also, of course, now they have all their integrations with Zillow 3D. We've been selling a bunch of those. So I think, look, Aereo makes a ton of sense. I would go in there, check it out. It's aereo.com, ARYEO.com. Always coming up with new stuff. And look, we've been using it for a long time, and that but still, we've been using it forever, but still, just the other day, I got a compliment from one of our clients about how they love our backend system, how all the photos are always there. They just go log in, they can now download them all. It's all taken care of, and they can order, they can do, all the stuff that I've talked about, they can do. Not only does it make our lives easier, but it makes our clients' lives easier, which then they love. And so they want to use us more because it makes their life easier. I mean, it's just a win-win-win. That's aereo.com. Use the code Upmarket, and you are going to get 15 free bonus listings if you're a new user. Well, some of you may know I'm kind of a single guy now. That's just how it goes. And so I like to go clubbing. Every weekend I'm out clubbing, and I'm out there shaking my booty, dancing. I mean, you know how I love to dance. There's just one problem. I run into stuff. I don't know. I walk into these clubs, they're dimly lit, and I have no idea where stuff is. And I'm bumping into people, but sometimes I'll bump into a pillar or the bar. And, because I'm a wild dancer, I kind of sometimes I lose control because I'm so in the moment. And I feel like if before I could go to one of these hot, cool nightclubs that I go to, if I could only have a floor plan of that before I go, I could plan out my dancing better for my own safety and the safety of others. So floor plans, they serve so many purposes. And what I would encourage any nightclub owner to do, or anyone, if we are a real estate media provider and we actually provide services to nightclub owners, I would pitch them floor plans, and especially floor plans done with the Second Floor app. So the Second Floor app is an app on your iPhone, super handy, super easy. You open that thing up, you just walk around that club. I mean, you could probably dance your way through the club, but I wouldn't do it during, clubbing times. So it's probably a little too dark, even though it does work well in low light. You're going to take the measure. You don't have to measure anything. You just walk around with your damn phone pointed at the wall. And this is great. It's going to produce a floor plan instantly and if that nightclub owner is expecting a lot of people that night and they want that floor plan instantly, well, sure, you can upcharge them. Charge them $100 for that, for delivery right then and there as you do the floor plan. No waiting overnight, no waiting for 2 days before that floor plan comes in. So go to secondfloorapp.com/upmarket, and you are going to get a free month of service. So that Second Floor app, all spelled out, SECONDFLOOR.app.com/upmarket, and you are going to get a free month of service. Do it because I don't want you to injure yourself on the dance floor like I've injured myself and 14 other people. Social media sidebar time. We are Upmarket Pod across all social media. Give us a follow. Give us subscribe on YouTube. Give us wherever you listen to podcasts. Obviously, if you're here trying to hear Murray, we got a lot of other great content. So get in there and subscribe if you don't mind. And then if you want to see upmarket.media is our other the mothership Instagram account. You can kind of see what we're doing out here in Ventura County, all the real estate media we are producing. And Murray, you are online, I think. You are on social media, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Where can we find you?
You can find me on all sorts of places. Murray SawChuck at Instagram. You can find me on TikTok at Magic with Murray. You can find me on Facebook, Magic with Murray. And you also find me on YouTube with Magic Murray. So I'm all over the place.
Oh, that's fantastic. Where are you? Is there a platform that you kind of find the most quote unquote success with?
Yeah, I think the two that we probably have the most success with is probably Facebook. Right now we have about 1.2 million followers on that, and then YouTube we probably have about 1.8 1.9 million followers.
Yeah. So. And how much YouTube content are you putting out? I mean, is this like a daily thing or weekly, monthly? What are you doing?
The first 8 years we would do it twice a week, and now it's backed off a little bit because we are monetized on all platforms, so we pick and choose which one's the most fulfilling, because every month or two they change and you have no power what they want, what they need. And so with the algorithms and everything, so we kind of go back and forth. So whatever one's paying more and getting more traction, we'll bump over to whatever page does more. And then, of course, with our content, we can spread it across all of our platforms.
Sure.
But we, right now we're more focused actually on Facebook, which is wonderful. So we're doing, our videos are doing anywhere between 2 to 70 million views video. So
yeah, that's awesome. Well, obviously none of us know what the algorithm is, how it works or what it does, or, why it shows us what it shows us. But I feel like when I am on Instagram, I do end up seeing some magic content. But it's always like some schlubby young guy with like a cuter girlfriend wowing her with a trick and then letting us see how the trick happens. Like the kind of, it's like a close-up magic trick. But then we see that there's actually a hole in the cup. That seems to be the only magic content that I'm fed. And I'm wondering, in the magic community, how are those videos seen? Have you done those type of videos? And basically, are all the tricks getting ruined?
That's funny. So you haven't given me it's so funny. So you haven't given me a Google at all yet to see my history of the last year.
Well, I Googled, and then I was like, I'm gonna watch, and then I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm just gonna go in cold, because then sometimes I feel like then I can ask the dumb questions, and because our viewers haven't Googled you either. So
sure. That's funny, because if you would have, even the first couple of pages you came up, you'd know a lot more than I could even share with you. But yeah, we have done videos like that, and we've gotten huge reactions from those videos, and it's been very positive in my world. But in the magic world, it's been hit or miss. So there's tons of controversy online about that.
And so, where do you want to throw out a take on the controversy? And I guess you've been on one side of it, so I guess I know where you might be coming from.
Well, no, I'm an entertainer, so my logo and my statement for years since I was a teenager, I even had on coffee mugs, was "Don't fool them, entertain them," and I think that goes across the board. I don't care what it's about. I think it's about singers. I think it's about shopping malls. I think it's about everything. Like when people walk into a store or a business, you want them to have that feel-good vibe. You know what I mean? Across the board. Don't fool them. Entertain them. And I know when you go shopping, you need to entertain people. But there is those shopping or grocery stores you walk into and you go, man, I love this vibe in here. I could just buy every box of cereal, every jam, every chicken, because they just got it laid out right. And others, you're kind of like, well, I got to grab something, get the hell out of here, And I think that goes across everything. Even when people are putting their business plan together for their clients, you want when they meet you and when they do business with you, to just have that great feeling, and that's such an important thing.
Well, I think what can be interesting about that and kind of thinking about it is like, I always talk about how, when we're making sales or just actually really in life, how like actually connecting with somebody actually on a human level, and being a little, and also, expressing vulnerability, right? I think if you express vulnerability to someone, that is such a pathway to connection. And in a way, if you are divulging like some of the tricks of the trade, right? You are actually forming a connection with your audience because you're being a little vulnerable by showing how the stuff is done. Because we're all like, we see magic and you're like, it's magic, right? Well, oh my God, how in the world was that done? And then you're like, oh wait, it's just, there's a hole in the thing. Oh, okay. And like that kind of, there may be some disappointment there, but I think it actually bonds us with you to be like, well, this guy's on the up and up, man. He's not, like you said, he's not fooling us. He's entertaining us. And, and I'm wondering if having a little bit of that in your act or on your videos actually fosters a certain kind of trust and connection with your audience.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends. Like the biggest compliment I get from my shows is there's always one person that probably wants to come to my show and one doesn't. Kind of like when people go to John Mayer, the wife wants to go, the husband's like, okay, I'll go with you, or whatever the case is. And then they leave and go, holy shit, you know what? John Mayer's pretty goddamn good, Yeah. And so that happens a lot with my show. And when people leave the show, they go, I never cared for magic, but I like. And that's what I want. I've always wanted that out of every business, like out of every company. Like even when with our landscaping business or the other companies we own, I like when I meet people and go, man, I never thought that way, or and I like that, and it's very important, I think. So with my show, it's one of those things where when you do see my show, I'm not there to fool you. I'm not there to get pleasure out of that. I want you to come in and for an hour to an hour and a half, forget about all your problems, your financial problems, your relationship problems, your kids' problems, your problems, and just have fun for an hour and a half and then go back to your problems because they're not going to go anywhere. They're still going to be there.
You're not solving my problems. You're just distracting, but that's all right. But we need that. That's fun. I love that. I love that. Of course. All right. Well, let's take another quick break. We're going to come back and let's talk some PMRE when we get back. And then we're going to end this thing with a couple banger action items. It wouldn't be a Road to PMRE show without doing a little bit of talk about iGUIDE because we are partnering with them. And come on, Skylar Lawrence LaBelle joining us once again from iGUIDE. And Skylar, here's the thing. Like, I get it. There's so many 3D tour options at this point, and they're basically all the same. I mean, you just get you do the scan and then you get the thing, and that's it. You can't even change it. You can't do anything with it. I mean, how does iGUIDE are you going to look into changing that or what's going on?
I think we already have, but let me tell you why.
Oh my God.
Virtual tour is great. Really at iGUIDE though, we're floor plan first. So it's not an add-on you're paying. Every time you use our camera, every iGUIDE you get, you're going to get the floor plan with it, which both agents and buyers. Yeah, the virtual tour is nice. Buyers want floor plans. It's second behind photos if you look at most studies. So you're getting a floor plan with every iGUIDE. But then two, something that really separates us is you can think of iGUIDE really as a content delivery system. So yes, you'll have your virtual tour and your floor plan. But many of our photographers are loading drone into it, or video. You can load your stills, and it becomes this content delivery system, all served up in the iGUIDE report. And then you can pass that along to your agent. So it packages everything nicely together. You're not fighting with multiple links, and gives that agent everything they need to create that online listing.
Yeah, that is really different than anyone else is doing in the kind of virtual tour 3D space. So yeah, that's some pretty powerful stuff. Yeah, I've seen the aerials with that, and it ends up being pretty cool. All right, well, Skylar, so you can find all about that at goiguide.com. So go check it out. Thank you, Skylar.
Thanks for having me.
All right. AI editing is all the rage, and Fotello is one of the big names. So it's fotello.co, and Fotello is an ethically sourced AI photo editor. You know how I feel about ethics. Actually, in all seriousness, I feel pretty strongly about it. And look, at Fotello, you're going to get consistent, high-quality edits every time. It has affordable pricing, as low as $12 a listing. And if that AI messes up, which, let's be honest, sometimes it does, or a lot of times it does if you're using ChatGPT, but Fotello, I think, has a better hit rate than ChatGPT for sure. Even if something goes wrong, human revisions done by Fotello are available within 6 hours. So your turnaround when you are uploading photos, basically those photos are going to be edited within like 10 minutes. So even if there is an issue, it's still the turnaround times are phenomenal. So I would really encourage you to check out fotello.co. That's Fotello, Fotello.co. If you use the code if you got a new account, use the code Upmarket25, and you're going to checkout, you're going to receive 25 free listings. So that's like up to probably 1,500 photos, $500 value. It's kind of an incredible deal. So get in there, Upmarket25 at Fotello.co. All right, so PMRE, you guys know, we're November 18th through 20th at the Palms Casino and Resort in Las Vegas, Nevada. Murray SawChuck is going to be there speaking, and Murray, of course, is with us right now. And Murray, you're going to be up on stage. What are you going to talk about? Please tell me you are going to do maybe a little bit of magic.
Oh, of course. I'll do 2 or 3 tricks, and I'm going to tie them into... I love metaphors, so I'm going to tie them to metaphors and ideas that hopefully your audience can understand on the way they think about the way they produce and sell things to their clients, and then have clients coming back over and over. I'm a magician, I'm a comedian, I'm an entertainer, but if you really know who I am, I'm actually a business person.
I've already gotten that sense. So
with weird hair and glasses,
Yeah.
I grew up on a ranch for 28 years. I rode in the rodeo, and when you look at me on stage, it doesn't even look like I can hold a hammer. But that's the illusion of it. I don't want you when I walk on stage to know I can actually build a house or ride a horse or look like I can even, withstand a fight, because that's not the image I'm trying to sell. Like I said, it's all about branding. But in my message to everybody watching, at the bottom line, you'll definitely be entertained. You'll be amused. My whole angle is to share with people that, no matter what business or what you're into, you can really succeed and excel in whatever it is, as long as you're paying attention to what you're doing. You love what you do. You're not only in it for money and not only in it for art. You have to look at it really down the middle, like Switzerland, and really be smart about it. You know what I mean? And love what you do. And that's the first and foremost. If you love what you do, you will become successful. If you're just doing it for money or for views or for whatever, fair enough. You might get somewhere, but you're not gonna last as long as I've lasted in what I love doing, and I want to share some interesting perspectives of being successful in maybe a non-traditional way, which is important.
Yeah. And I think, we're all, probably so many people in our industry are kind of artists at heart. And so I think to see a fellow artist up there who has success, I think it's a powerful thing. And I'm really, like, when Brandon first told me you were going to be speaking, of course I was like, well, that's interesting. But I trust you, Brandon. And then, he just explained it for like 30 seconds. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. That makes perfect sense now, and I actually think it's helpful to when we are so kind of insular in this business, in this industry, we're all talking to each other and we're all sharing our problems and figuring it out. To have someone who can bring a fresh perspective, who is actually not in the day to day and doesn't know how insane realtors are, and how hard it is to manage a editing team in Southeast Asia, whatever, all the stuff that we as business owners in this industry go through. I mean, you're looking at all that with fresh eyes, and so I think that can be very valuable.
Well, it's super important, I think. Like when I'm working on a new trick or something, that's another reason I'm in Tahoe, because I'm shooting our 12th season of Masters of Illusion in a couple of weeks. So I need a place to work my stuff, and I'm not going to work it out in a 5,000 seat theater. This is a very cool cabaret tucked away in Lake Tahoe where I can work on my stuff, and I'm doing certain tricks for audiences for the first time, and I want to get that real reaction, because the audience and your clients will give you a honest reaction, whatever business you're in, whether you're a baker baking a bread for a first time you've never made, or a dinner and you're a chef, but you need a place to kind of try it on people, invite your neighbors over or whatever before you actually sell it and make some money off this stuff. So I think it's very important where you exercise things, and it's nice to hear a fresh perspective, So for me, I don't do my tricks in front of magicians or entertainers. I don't want their perspective, because they're jaded. They've seen it all. I don't want that, because they're not the ones paying my mortgage. It's the regular people in the world that see a magic show once every 20 years if they're lucky or get entertained. So, and those are the people that are really going to give me the honest feedback, not magicians, because they're going to be jaded and they're going to have their own opinion, So
right. And they're going to be like, "You stole that damn trick from me, you asshole."
Of course, exactly, exactly.
So, do you have like a kind of? I know you're touring a lot, you're doing a lot of stuff, but do you have a regular gig in Las Vegas that when you're not on the TV shows that you can kind of go back to time and again, or are you just kind of like feeling it out all the time?
No, I've been on the Strip for 23 years.
Okay. Where on the Strip? Because if someone wants to see you when they're in Las Vegas, I guess is kind of what I'm getting at.
Sure, yeah. Tropicana, I just did 12 years there. Before that was Planet Hollywood, and then Flamingo. Before that, it was the Frontier Hotel and MGM Grand with Crazy Girls and the Crazy Girls from Paris. Wow. And then I just finished 6 months at the Stratosphere. I've been on the road for about 2 months now, and then we're going to go back October, November, and open back up. And we're in talks with 3 other casinos there right now. So,
great. Yeah, so it sounds like there's always a home for you, because you're good at what you do, but do you, and again, I guess I do have a kind of a few, like, not, I guess, behind the scenes magic stuff, but just in terms of how, when you have that kind of long running show, and presumably you have all these fans coming back, and I know we kind of mentioned earlier that you always, just like right now, you're working on new material, but do you still have like classic elements that you've been doing for like 10 years that if the audience doesn't see that, they're going to actually be disappointed?
Well, 100%. It's like Ron White. He doesn't do, talking about Tater. I don't know if you know Ron White or his material, but he's a legend, or talking about David Chappelle and some of his bits, or Carl, legendary people. Of course, people, when you're in the biz and you have a following, you're doing it a long time, people do want you to bring back some classic stuff, because that's what they fell in love with when they first met you and first knew you, so it's, of course, they look for things like that, or they bring their friends and they go, "You got to watch this. Don't even look at your phone. Put your drink down. This is a cool moment," And of course, that's the beauty of having a long career that's 3 or 4 decades long, and have those fans coming back and liking what you do, and all that stuff. And of course, you got to put some new stuff in as well. But if you go see, Prince when he was alive and he didn't sing Purple Rain, you're probably pretty pissed off about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You see Garth Brooks and he doesn't sing, Friends in Low Places, But that's what drives a brand. That's what drives creativity. It's like I said, one of the biggest brands in the world is Dolly Parton. If she doesn't sing 9 to 5, you're going to be pissed right off. Yeah. So that's I look at these great people that have had these brands and they don't deviate too much, because that's what we like them,
And even being up on stage and getting the applause and kind of, I want to tie this kind of question into, our world here in real estate media is, and I kind of alluded to it, of where, you come in and you're so passionate about taking photos, and then you just take photo after photo after house of house after house after house, and they all blend together, and it just becomes this grind. And all of a sudden, in my case, you kind of lose interest in photography, and like whatever enjoyment I may have ever had in shooting a house kind of evaporates. And and maybe it would feel different if when I was out shooting a house, when I was finished with the house, there was like 1,000 people there applauding and telling me how awesome I am. But we don't have that. So maybe the kind of passion for it is easier to leave. But how do you find, after doing some of those bits that you've been doing for decades, like, how do you keep it fresh? How do you keep the passion for it, and and is it really something that you really just thrive for? The audience reaction is what drives you, and you're hungry for it.
Well, it's like you probably never shoot the same house twice unless you have a client that resells it over and over. And you probably do once in a blue moon, because
we do.
That's something you love,
Yeah.
But pretty much, I'd say probably as a guess, 80% of the time, you're probably shooting a new house all the time, realistically. If somebody keeps their house for 10 years or 20. So think of a house as an audience. So yes, your camera's the same. Yes, there's a kitchen, and yes, there's a bathroom. It's like, all right, yes, there's a white dude, there's a black dude, there's an Asian lady, but they're different people, every audience. So when I walk into a house, or I walk into, which is what they call theaters, houses, houses, what makes my tricks different is the audience. So when I walk in, every audience, so I know my material, but the way they react and enjoy it, that's new to me, because that's what makes an old bit really new. It's kind of like when you play a song, like watching Dave Matthews, just a couple days ago, like I mentioned, his songs have been around forever, but seeing these people relive it, and then they brought their kids that are in their teens, and they got to relive a song that maybe their parents met on and maybe conceived them on. And now they're there with their kid, and they get to watch Dave Matthews and bring back those memories of summertime, whatever the heck they were doing. So, for me, and my wife and I have a lot of rental properties too, and we hire photographers for our properties and all that stuff. And, to me, when you go into a venue that you're so used to, I always look at it as the audience is the one that relives my tricks and makes it fresh and new for me. So when I walk into a home or anything, like any of our rentals, when I restage them or something, I go, how can I make this home look a little different? How can I make it look modern? What's in right now? Is mid-century in? Is modern in? What is it? And how can I remake my homes look interesting enough for these renters to rent out again and want to buy? So.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, you just have to challenge yourself. And I think with the houses, there's, it just doesn't feel like there's often as much variety, even though there is. And sometimes I worry, I speak at these things from a little bit of a too jaded perspective, but I do think, whatever, the actionable thing for our audience is, like, whatever you can do to kind of help keep it fresh, I think is, the way to go, because don't be like me, because that's, that should be the mantra of the show. Don't be like me.
Right.
Yeah. Well, wait a sec. I think I have some good qualities. Well, okay, hold on. I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, I think that's really great advice. And I'm assuming you still do find it fun to be on stage.
I love it. Every minute I walk on stage. Yeah, there's times where I'll walk on, I got a migraine headache before the damn show, of course. You have a fight with a friend or something else pisses you off, or whatever. But that's life. That's just, that's the way it goes. But if you don't love what you do, then find something else that you like doing. I know that's not the case, and it can't always be that way, because you got to pay the mortgage, and you make a certain amount of money with doing what you love, and we all have to do certain jobs we don't like doing. But like I said, we own a landscaping company, and if I have a job and one of my workers is sick, guess who shows up on the site? Me.
Right.
And I'm working for 8 hours lifting bricks and moving grass, and because it's my company. And I promised this couple I'd get their home done for the weekend that they're gonna have a party on. So and the key is never be scared to work, never be scared to go over and beyond and above things. I find this day and age with companies and people, it's the age of mediocrity, and I hate it. Go above and beyond, go past the expectations. The greatest thing about some of my people, when I hire them or I do a job, say for landscaping, because we own a company called Dirt to Dreams Landscaping, and the job, say $15,000, we're doing something in the front yard. I'll finish the job, and I'll give them a check back for $500. Well, guess what? We actually we overbid your job. Here's an extra $500 back because we had too much of excess. We didn't need it all. I made so much money on that job. The $500 to me doesn't change a thing, but it changes everything with that client. All of a sudden, you're not going to believe this. First time in my life, I did a bid, and I paid them the $15,700, and they wrote me a thank you letter with the money draft for $500 back. Who does that? Yeah. That's why I've worked all my life, because I look at those little loopholes, those little gems that really doesn't change my life at all. But that little bit will have them talking to their whole neighborhood for the next 20 years for $500. That's nothing. $500 doesn't change my life. So people don't understand these little nuggets. Imagine if you got your car fixed, a new engine put in for $3,500 and that you pay it. And then you get your keys and you open your car door and a check on your seat for $250 going, hey, we didn't need to replace the wires or the spark plugs or do this. So here's an extra $250 back. Go, you've got to be shitting me.
Yeah, I can't. I can't believe in what you're saying right now. I'm like, well, okay. And I was like, oh, could we do that? And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I guess we could.
Sure, you can give him $50 off. You can give him a gift card. You can do all sorts of things. There's always a way to do that, man. It's always a way.
No, exactly. And I think we do try to give back to our clients. It's usually in the form of, the occasional discount or the occasional, oh yeah, hey, well, we won't charge you for a Saturday delivery like we normally charge.
Sure.
Or, whatever, right? I think there are those little kinds of things that you can do. Wow. So how many people, how big is your landscaping company? Because I just all of a sudden realized, of course, it wasn't your first job. You had the paper route, but then you kind of started a landscaping business while you had the paper route when you were 8 years old with those flyers.
Landscaping started about 5.5 years ago. You really have to give me a Google. You have to check me out.
Well, no. I will.
But all this stuff so quickly. It comes out right up. Google is an amazing thing.
Oh, thanks.
You could know everything about
me. Oh, damn it. I was going to come up with the oldest, not Magellan. Anyway, but
nice
right. So you always had a passion for it, from raking leaves when you were a kid, and then you were like, oh, I can do. You did magic when you were a kid. You raked leaves, and now you're doing magic, and you have your landscaping company, and it's kind of a beautiful through line there.
Yeah. I love business. I love working. I love entrepreneurship. I like when you can make a job for yourself that isn't in the Rolodex of jobs. You don't need to look at the classified section and go, I can apply for that. You don't need to. You can make your own avenue in. It takes a lot more work, and you got to work 24 hours a day, not 8. Yeah. But I'm the type of person, I'm not scared of work. That's never been a problem for me. I don't watch much TV. I love going for walks. If you said, hey, Murr, I'm free at 8 o'clock. You want to go for a beer? I would never go, I got to watch the football game. I go, you know what? I'd rather sit with you and talk like we're doing right now than watch a football game or watch TV or whatever. I'd rather have a conversation with a human being like you. I find that a lot more interesting to me. You know what I mean? So
yeah, for sure. No, I agree, and that's one of the reasons I love doing the show, because we get to talk to interesting people. I get to, because I don't use Google, I get to learn about people on the show. So it's really a good it's a good deal for me. And so but if you are going to Google someone, that takes a little bit of action, which means that it is time for our action items. Our action items today are sponsored by Pixel CRM, the only CRM that is made by a real estate photographer for real estate photographers and media professionals. It's an amazing tool, fully fleshed out. You can do so many things with Pixel CRM. I urge you to check it out. It's Pixel CRM. That's PIXL. CRM.com. And if you add right after that.com, if you add a little /Upmarket, you're going to be able to get a free month of service to check it out. So check out pixelcrm.com/upmarket. And Murray, I feel like you're going to have a great one. So I'm going to go first, if that's all right. And mine is actually inspired by you. I was noting how you were talking about how all these little things add up. So I'm going to challenge our listeners to, and I'm going to do it too, find one thing in your business that you are spending some money on. It can be whatever, even $5 a week or $5 a day or, $30 a month, whatever it is. And ask yourself, do I really need this? And remind yourself of how much that actually costs in the long run. Like, how many Dropbox accounts are you paying for? How many, I know with us, sometimes I'm like, oh shit, are we paying for that? And I think to do a little bit of an audit on what those kind of small expenses are, those really can add up. So just kind of go through your bank statement, make sure that what all those things that, are $10 or whatever, are actually serving your business.
Well,
there you go.
Very smart.
Yeah. Well, you kind of said it, so I give you the credit.
Yeah, no, but thanks. But I think we all could have a little sometimes, look at that. Like it's funny, people laugh at me especially my wife, because she's a lot younger than me by a decade. And so everything's digital and everything's online. Yeah. And I'm a paper guy. I read the newspaper on Sundays. Yeah. I like magazines at the airport. And when I get my bills, I actually still get paper bills. And I know I can see it online, but I spend so much time doing what we're doing now on my computer. I like to hold the paper and I like to look at it. And I go through all my bills. Actually, I see them every month. And I know I'm probably 30 days late to the mistake that's on there, but it's worked for the last 40 years. So what? Yeah, right. Exactly. And I can actually see these charges, and I go down and I see every single charge. And when I'm traveling, wherever I'm looking, and there's probably almost every bill is one or two things that I question. I go, wait a minute, why? What the hell is that about? And and then I go, oh my God, I didn't realize I was paying for Hulu $4.99 a month when we don't even use Hulu. So all these little things you add on and forget, and it happens to so many people nowadays. And I'd rather have $4.99 in my pocket than in somebody else's pocket. And that $49.99 every month adds up. That's the way it is.
Absolutely. Yep. All right. Well, hit us with your action item if you don't mind.
My action item is do something unexpected. Do something unexpected. If you do something unexpected in a positive way, you will get a positive get a positive outcome on the other side of it. It's a fact. And just that's it. Just do something unexpected, which is the hardest thing for sometimes people to do because they're always expecting something. Go the other way. Like I just said, when you do a job, and say you do I don't know what photo jobs are for homes, $800, $1,000, $200, but whatever you charge for a photo job for a home, say it's a $500 job, you base it for $400. So do a home. Or upcharge $100 that they'll accept you, so you have $100 to play with, and do your photo job in the home. Do 37 photos or 65, whatever you do, or a drone shot, or whatever you do with the package. And then when you send them a thank you letter, go get $100. Either you can do a gift card. I do a bank draft, an actual Wells Fargo $100, so it's cash right there. They can do anything they want with it. And as a thank you, go, you know what, your job was amazing. We appreciate the $500, but your house was amazing. Thank you for your business. And here's a little thank you. Take you and the wife out. And hope you sell your home soon. Here's $100 cash back. I'm telling you right now, people will not forget that unless they have dementia. So just do something unexpected. Don't tell them you're going to do it. Don't tell them it's going to happen. Of course. Yeah. And that's the key. Don't tell me the unexpected. I'll you call me tomorrow or whatever. You actually just do it and mail it away, and that's it. And it's a tax write-off for you as well. So.
All right. Yeah, well, there you go. Tax write-off. We all like tax write-offs. That's great. There you go. All right. Murray SawChuck. Thanks, man. That was a really fun conversation. I appreciate it, and I think I'm even more looking forward to your talk now. I obviously there's going to be a lot of wisdom coming from you, and obviously some laughs. And and you better. I know you don't want to fool me. You want to entertain me, but I want to be fooled too. So
perfect.
Pander
for you. I'll make sure I fool you.
Pander to this audience if you don't mind. Try to fool me on something. All right. Well, thank you, Murray, and we're excited. We'll see you in just a couple months now. So. All right. Thank you so much. And thank everyone for listening. Thank you to our sponsors. We appreciate all of you. We couldn't do it without you. So we are, always, we appreciate all our listeners and viewers so much. Thank you. Upmarket is a production of Upmarket Studios. This episode was produced by Chelsea Froelich and edited by Bethany Diedrich. Thank you so much for listening, and we really hope you listen to the next one too. In the meantime, our wish for you is to not have to shoot any Friday night Twilight shoots. Thank you for everything.